What's up guys, my name's Thomas. Welcome to Elderwood Games, a YouTube channel that's basically all about the tabletop hobby. We'll go through model painting, terrain, building, painting, a lot of that stuff, but today is more about starting over. So you'll likely see on the channel I have a few past live streams. If you want to check those out, feel free to. I basically just was doing what I could, right? I wanted to get started, and I got started in a way that worked for what I had at the time. But you know, something always felt like this isn't exactly what I wanted to be doing. So I was, you know, I brainstormed, I got a little bit of some studio upgrade kind of stuff to be able to hopefully make videos that I can be proud of and can enjoy sharing with all of you. But moreover, I think starting over is something that we end up doing a lot in this hobby. Whether it's, you know, starting a new game from scratch, starting a new army, or, you know, if you're more into the RPG scene, starting a new campaign, a new group, and a new story, and that sort of thing. And I think it's important that we're okay with starting over. For me in this channel, it was starting over to be able to provide something that I was more confident in, that I would actually enjoy providing to you all. And recently, I got into 40,000, Warhammer 40,000. You can kind of see some of the boxes behind me. And I started with the Tau, and I still love the Tau. And if anything, I've grown to enjoy them more, but that's not without the challenges I had along the way. So I have a few models just to kind of talk through. I have my old way of painting them. So I started with sort of this matte, sort of grungy look. The idea of my Tau is that they are an enclave that has basically cultivated a civilization on this like jungle kind of planet. And they're really just kind of working on new mech suits and new innovations. So there's a lot of earth casts, which are their mechanics, and there's quite a few fire casts, which are their warriors, and it's just a constant kind of evolution of technology. So I started with those, and the idea was that, like, you know, they're in this jungle, they might not be able to keep things as clean, but I started to get a little bogged down with that, because with my Space Marines, in a similar kind of way, they were kind of going to be grungy too. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want two kind of grungy kind of armies. I'd like to have one that maybe is like my pretty, quote unquote, army. So I ended up coming up with this scheme, which is just adding some edge highlights. When I was doing that, I actually had tested it on one of the drones. Itty bitty drone. One of the missile drones. And if you can see that on your right side, it's a slightly different green than on the left side. And the reason for that is that I also thought about changing their set color. So I had this bright Kelly green as their set color. And I was like, okay, well maybe, you know, what if I change that to a darker green? So I had painted those on there to see. But also I thought about just changing it all entirely. So when I had my Riptide, I decided to try out the new scheme with a blue color, which I really enjoy, and I actually like having a model that is a different color entirely. So I kept him blue. I even painted up a missile drone in those colors. And, you know, this was when I was pretty new to the hobby. So I kind of was looking at this maybe 3 or 4 months in, but by that time, I already had multiple stealth suits painted in this old scheme. I had a commander, my 3 ghost keels. I think I even had at least 1 unit of crisis suits, and I think all 3 of my broadsides were already painted in this like kind of grungier matte kind of look. So I was like, okay, well, I really want to do this. Like, I really want this army to look better. I'm not satisfied with it. So I started over. Stripped all the paint off of all of them and repainted all of them. And my timing couldn't have been worse because my shop was doing a Crusade League. I was having to add models to my collection to be able to keep up with the points because I wasn't even at 2,000 points yet. So I was adding models, I was painting those models, I was repainting old models, and I really burnt myself out very quickly. But that was more of a timing thing, right? The starting over wasn't the problem. It was the timing of starting over, which, you know, a lot of times it's not going to be like that for most people. For me, it just happened that I was just really motivated to start over at, honestly, a bit of a poor time. But keeping that in mind, if I were to start over, I would definitely be planning it a little bit better. And when I was, you know, looking at starting over this YouTube channel, I was like, how do I want it to be? You know, and Trent Holbrook had started these daily vlogs, his permadeath channel, which if you're watching this as it released, I hope that that's still going because it's been a really great inspiration for me and I think a lot of other creators on the platform and just in general to see kind of the day-to-day of a hobbyist. You know, I think the plan for this channel is going to be what's it look like to hobby and have a full-time job. So with me starting over with the YouTube channel and everything, I'm also trying to realign my goals to what I want to see in myself and what I can do better. So first of all, it's reworking and actually making videos that I'm proud of here on this platform that hopefully you guys can enjoy as well. The next thing is to get back into game design. So basically since college, I've been on and off working on tabletop RPGs, tabletop skirmish games, and I have about 3 or 4 dozen unfinished drafts of games and play-tested versions of games that just have never made it to who they're supposed to go to, which are other people to play them, right? So my hope is to also spend some time on this channel doing some devlog kind of stuff, talking through my game design process. And outside of that, in tangent with creating my own games, I would love to be able to produce my own miniatures, my own STL files, and that sort of thing. So I'm also in the process of learning Blender and learning 3D design. Yeah, we're starting over. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos relating to the tabletop hobby. Thanks, guys.